Here's a song that could hardly be simpler, just 3 chords. Originally written by Cat Stevens and performed by him in the key of G. The best known cover versions are probably Rod Stewart's, that's in the key of C, and Cheryl Crow's version, which is in D. And the difference between Cheryl Crow's version and Rod Stewart's version, there's not really very much. I've put a capo on the 2nd fret and I'm going to play as if I'm in C. Actually, that means I'm going to be in D, so I can play along with the Cheryl Crow version. If you wanted to play along with Rod Stewart, take the capo off and play it in C. Otherwise, really, there's not very much difference. There are 2 simple sections, a verse and a chorus, and they have the same material, effectively just these 3 chords. There's a bit of a bass line thing going on, and there's the intro riff. We'll look at that separately. But for now, let's just look at some strumming ideas. We've got a fairly sedate tempo about here. It's slow enough to get some 16ths. That's dividing the beat into 4 mini beats. This kind of thing. So if we were playing just a chord of C, what I might do is pick with the thumb, the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing. Just keeping the wrist loose and the strumming hand. That kind of a thing. And we're going to want to pick the bass note at the beginning of each beat, or at least each new chord as we go. So that's going to be quite a useful thing. That kind of idea. Okay, well, let's have a look at the chords in detail. We'll start with the verse, and we've got 2 chords per bar, so 2 beats per chord. And effectively it's this: 2 beats of C, 2 beats of G, 2 beats of F, and then back to G. I would have given you all of my heart, but there's someone who's torn it apart. And that just goes around, I think, 4 or 5 times, we'll see, and then we have an ending there. But I'm going to change those chords a little bit. My C, I like that, but when I go to the G, I'm going to miss out the 6th string and just play B in the bass. That's the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Otherwise I'm just playing a G chord, so it's a G chord with the bottom string missing. Then when I go to F, I'm going to play F this way, like a 4-string F, but with an open 5th string. And the reason for that is we've got this descending bass line then. C in the bass for the C chord, B for the G, and an A for the F. And then when we go back to G, then we've got G in the bass. We've got bum, 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 bum. And that riff takes us pretty much through the whole song. There's just a couple of places where we deviate from that, but that's really the essential idea. If you get that under your fingers, you've got 90% of the song. Now, in fact, the verse and the chorus are so similar to each other that we can handle them together. The descending bass line thing that we've got, these 2 bars in this sequence, for the verse, that goes round 4 times altogether, and we end up with 2 beats of C, F, a straight F bar chord, that's an E-shaped bar at the 1st fret, and then a whole bar of G. The chorus does exactly the same thing, except it's only 3 times through our descending figure, and we end up the same way as the verse: 2 beats of C, 2 of our F bar chord, and then G, except this time we've got 2 bars of G. So 4 times through the descending figure, and then 2 beats of C, 2 beats of F, and a bar of G. That's the verse. 3 times through the descending figure for the chorus, and we end up with 2 beats of C, 2 of F, and then 2 whole bars of G before we get into the next verse. So let's have all of that, the 1st verse and the chorus, into the 2nd verse, and you can see how that all links up. I would have given you all of my heart, but there's someone who's torn it apart, and she's taken just all that I have. If you want, I'll try to love again. I try to love again, but I know 2, 3, 4. The first chord is the deepest. Baby, I know the first chord is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I still want you by my side. And that's that pretty much. Okay, let's have a look at the intro. Now that 2-bar section that ends both the verse and the chorus, 2 beats of C, 2 of F, and 4 beats of G, that forms the basis of the intro too. In fact, it's just that twice through. And we're into the first verse. I would have given, but in both the Rod Stewart version and the Cheryl Crow version, although it's not in the Cat Stevens original, we hear this. So let's look at that. I'm playing a straight C chord for the first 2, and where I ought to be going to the F, I kind of am. I'm going to bring my little finger down, still kind of playing the C shape, my little finger down onto the 3rd fret of the 4th string, and off again to play the 2nd fret of the 4th string, which is what should be there for the C chord, and then the little finger comes back on again. So 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and I end up hitting the open 3rd string. And by the time I hit that open 3rd string, I'm playing a G chord. So I'm not really forming an F shape, but I am kind of suggesting it with that little finger coming on. And if I play that slowly, 2 beats of C, bear in mind we come onto the open 3rd string on 4 and, so it's 1, 2, 3 and 4 and, right before we reach the G chord proper. But that's the idea. And I'm doing that with my thumb. I'm just picking that 4th string and just trying to pick across to the 3rd string, get a kind of gentle clash going and a little bit of vibe there. Maybe just dig into those. And we're into the first verse. Now beyond all that, if you want to add a bit of detail and colour to your strumming, you could try some hammer-ons. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but see what works for you. Focus particularly on the 2nd fret of the 3rd and 4th strings. So for instance in the C chord, now normally there should be a finger on the 2nd fret, but as I strum that, I'm just going to lift that finger off and then bring it down sharply from the open 4th string to the 2nd fret. Okay, for the F chord, particularly the F over A here, that's really nice. Open 3rd string before I bring that finger down onto the 2nd fret. Okay, so if I play that 2-bar sequence with the descending line, and I'll overdo it a bit, but now in terms of the form, at least for the Cheryl Crow version, it's like this. We've got our intro, we've got verse 1 and chorus 1. Chorus 1 has 2 bars of G. Then we get verse 2, just the same as verse 1. Again we get a chorus, but this time we only get 1 bar of G at the end. Then we get a guitar solo, and the guitar solo is on the form of the intro effectively. 2 beats of C, 2 beats of F, and a bar of G. But that goes 4 times round, so a total of 8 bars for the guitar solo. Then we get the 3rd verse, which is actually just the 2nd verse. It's the same lyrics, that's what I mean. Same lyrics as the 2nd verse. The difference is that this time we get 2 bars of G at the end to kind of rev us up for the final chorus. The final chorus takes us into the outro, which is just a bit more chorus. And perhaps the easiest thing is if I just play this for you. We get the whole of the chorus with one bar of G at the end, and then we go back to the beginning of the chorus, and well, I'll play it for you and you'll see what happens. It just kind of ends on, I'll try to love again. So here's the final chorus. The first cut is the deepest, baby, I know. The first cut is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's worse. To the top of the chorus, 3, 4, 1. First cut is the deepest, baby, I know. The first cut is the deepest. I try to love again. That's the end of the song. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would have given you all my heart, but there's someone who's torn it apart, and she's taken just all I have. But if you want, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's the worst. I still want you by my side, just to help me dry the tears that I cry. And I'm sure gonna give you a try. If you want, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know the first cut is the deepest. Baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to loving me, she's the worst. Just to help me dry the tears that I've cried. And I'm sure gonna give you a try. If you want, I'll try to love again. Baby, I'll try to love again, but I know baby, I know the first cut is the deepest. When it comes to being lucky, she's cursed. When it comes to